Alright, welcome back to another stream. More Spearmaster. This time there's nothing else different happening. We're just doing the run. No mods, no like practice attempts. I mean, I've already done those, of course. But now we're just going to just see how fast we can finish this campaign. I need to change fast roll button. For some reason, this thing always resets. It'd be cool if you could just set a position. Yeah, already messing up. Not that big of a deal, I think, if I make a few mistakes here and there. The biggest thing that I'm going to try to improve is just not dying. Being more efficient through like precipice and underhang. Those are the main areas of improvement, I think. I've already completed a run that was pretty decent. I don't remember if that run had like any mods or stuff like that. But for this one, we're just going to see if I can just finish an attempt in a good amount of time. I don't need to go that high. I think based on previous attempts, I think like a sub 110 might be possible. So I think it was 118 with like 5 deaths. I mean, I would like to avoid as many deaths as possible. I don't know if it's reasonable to like avoid deaths entirely. So maybe like if I die, I'll like keep going. But if I like die at the very end of a cycle or right before I stay in a shelter, then I'll reset because it's like a huge time loss. But if I die like right after leaving a shelter, then it's not that big of a deal. So I do need to remember something, and it's getting the Karma Flower. I guess it's not as important now that I'm trying to avoid deaths, but one of the big time losses in the last attempt was that I had to Karma Cache for a bit, and I also had to go out of my way to get Karma. I believe the entrance to Moon is the high Karma requirement. Probably make needles before entering this room. So grabbing the Karma Flower means that I'll more likely be able to ignore the scavenger. That's a harder scavenger to ignore. He doesn't have any weapons though, so I'll just move on. Oh, that's actually perfect. I want to move up here. Now I can just leave. That's enough food. It's nice when you see a centipede. They're definitely the easiest creature to get food from as Spearmaster. So now we Karma Cache up to Karma 3 because I will shelter again in Chimney. Do I want the shelter there? Like if I'm trying to avoid deaths and I want to get a vulture mask, so like if I die fighting, I mean, I guess if I can shelter so that if I die fighting a vulture, I don't lose that much time. And I think that is worth it. I will be going for the vulture mask, so I'll do that. I'll shelter when entering Chimney, so I'll get the karma that I need for entering the wall. Now I'm going to go down here. This is what I forgot to do last time. I just need to go down one room. Hello? There's just not a karma flower here? Wasn't there karma flower? Oh, the scavenger took it. That sucks. Maybe I should have killed that scavenger. Whoops. Okay. See another droplet over there. And luckily with those two gone, the rest will be easy to deal with. This guy will fall on his own. Yeah, I thought he was going to keep chasing me. So, I mean, there's a Karma Flower in Chimney. It's not the best option since I guess if I die like right now, I would have to continue to Karma Cash. As long as I get a Karma Flower at some point, it'll be nice. What about Enoch? I'm not considering that an actual character. They're just kind of... I mean, they're a joke character, right? They're not really part of the game. And of course, there's like all sorts of more different categories that you can come up with, but I feel like story percent represents kind of a, you know, a reasonable approach to like... Oh, come on, don't run. I hope he's injured enough. I'd love to get a Vulture Mask right now, in advance. No, they're running away. That's a shame. I mean, I just kind of ran into a Vulture and it's like, okay, this is an opportunity. That's just kind of a time loss now. Maybe I could have like kept doing more with that one spear that I already had instead of trying to create another spear while he was running away. Oops. Oh, also I forgot to get the popcorn plant. A whole bunch of mistakes here. Okay, good thing I didn't mess up that jump with the red lizard down there. Now this silent lizard wants to be in the prop, be the next prop, or not. It's wonderful. Might have seen me. Doesn't look like it. Although... Okay. I just want to go over here. To get that. A lot of mistakes so far, but I guess we're still moving. There's bat flies in here, yep. It's also debatable whether this run is harder than Artificer or Saints. Those are like the other ones that you'd consider. I think Rivulet and Gourmand are definitely the easier categories. Although still not great. But Artificer, I feel like it's like much more consistent. Like if you want to take a few more shelters than you need to, then you can probably make it to the end. And if you die, you're only gonna lose like a minute at most. Say it isn't too hard, it's just very long. Yeah, definitely. The hardest part is probably Rubicon. Once you get to the very end, it's suddenly like a lot of dangerous creatures that you have to deal with, and like Miros, vultures. So that's still gonna work. Yeah, come down here. Oh, it's gonna run away. And I hate vultures. I hit his mask twice, so he runs away. It's probably not the best spot to be in. Yep, I'm right here. I want him to be right here. Okay, mask acquired. Once you get the mask, you can just leave. No reason to stick around. So this is where I probably want to make the spear in advance so that I don't have to like stand there for a bit. Although this blue lizard is probably just going to get in the way anyway. Somehow that lizard turned into a egg bug. So I wouldn't have to go down there if a scavenger didn't steal the karma flower, although you can't really plan for that. There's no drop wig. Whoops. Okay, I still made that jump, but I kind of messed up. I really should have looked for drop wigs. I just kind of ran forward blindly. Create a spear here. Oh, that guy ran away real quick. Yep, excuse me. That was pretty close. I think those walls kind of extend a lot further down than you would think. Hello, Lancer. The story there. Lots of elite scavengers. I wonder if like giving stuff to elite scavengers gives you more reputation, because they're like, oh, this is something. Okay, instantaneous reaction time. I think I'm just gonna restart. I made a lot of mistakes like all out throughout the run. I'll probably be more willing to continue once I get to like underhang and about that part of the run. But I can improve this beginning part. Also, Saint isn't actually that long of a category. Like, it's about an hour, which is... Okay, I didn't want to fall down here. I mean, an hour is, like, pretty long for, like, speedrun, for, like, most speedruns, but for Rain World, that's, like, kind of average. I mean, most other story percent runs are about 30 minutes. Gourmand is about 40 minutes, I think. Rivida is about 30. Artificer ranges depending on how risky you want to be, but it's usually around 30 or a bit less than that. Spearmaster is about an hour, and so is Saint. Like, pretty much any other category is about an hour too. That isn't just like get to the end as fast as possible. Like any percent categories or ascension percent categories, you have to go like get a bunch of echoes. Those are usually closer to an hour, so Saint isn't really that bad. I mean, there's runs that are like several hours long, like multiple 100% categories are like that. Yeah, I don't know if that wall bounce helped or not. I think Saint has some of the more engaging gameplay overall. A lot of unique environments, a lot of like unique opportunities for interesting movement. So I'm not prepared right now. Stab this drop wig. Not like that. I mean, that wasn't stabbing, but if I could also hit the screen lizard, that'd be cool, but they seem to want to leave. Yeah, keep going. So I hope that a scavenger doesn't steal this karma flower, because it'd be faster to get this than the one in Chimney. Although there's still like decent options. Okay, that's enough food. Once again, I said it beat saving the day. Or the run. We'll go for... I mean, I guess I stayed in at the chimney shelter, even though I didn't really use it. I stayed in there and then died later, but I just reset anyway. So maybe I should just karma cash here the whole time. I just hope that I don't die against a vulture. I think I will do that. Because I think that the vultures are like not that bad to fight if you use the like pipe strategy that I was kind of doing. Because like as long as you're going back and forth between the pipe, you're not really in any danger of dying to the vulture. But it gives you opportunities to stab the vulture as well as like create more spears. And if it's a regular vulture, it isn't really that dangerous, so you can just kind of like spam spears and eventually kill it. And if it's a king vulture, then it's going to try to like it's going to stick around for a lot longer, so you have more time to build up spears. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're actually just doing normal attempts now. I've already done one attempt where I died, and I always end up missing this karma flower. There we go. That works. I don't want. I mean, I feel like I could have just stood next to it and thrown a spear, but it probably would have missed. Okay. Yeah, as long as those dropwings are in those kind of positions, they're quite easy to deal with. And then the rest of them are much easier because you can just do this. And then they're so confused that they don't really chase after you. I didn't get to jump afterwards. What's real nice about the Spearmaster run is that there isn't a pink lizard in that room. Oh, that's probably a hunter spawn thing, right? As Survivor, there's usually a pink lizard that likes to show up in that room, and they can be quite annoying, especially if they get to the tunnel. So for Industrial, if I run into a vulture immediately, just fight it, and don't let it run away. And also remember to get the popcorn plant. No vulture in here, that's fine. Just gonna pick up these rocks. I don't need food, so don't need to like create more spears if these rocks can also help me get past the lizards. Just like that. See how quickly that pink lizard did its charge attack. That was a wonderful jump. Okay, that's yeah, that's what happens when you don't hold anything. I was thinking like maybe I should create spears right now. I should have at least picked up that rock that was right there. I guess I was just hoping that the lizard was further away than I thought it was. But then it was exactly as close as I thought it was, so I don't know why I did any of that. Funny how their breath meter only shows up at the end of that tunnel, because you definitely would have lost a lot more than that. It's like with attempts. I know it's possible to like finish a run fairly easily. That hasn't really been a problem with previous attempts or practice runs. If you want to beat the game as Spearmaster, it's not that bad. If you want to do it without deaths or like major mistakes, that's the actual difficult part. And why there's such a variance in like the times of like runs that I've seen of Spearmaster. You either finish it in like 2 hours or like just 1 hour. Sub 1 hour is probably possible. But I imagine that most runners probably haven't just put in the amount of attempts to get that kind of run. Because at that point, it's not just about getting good creature luck, it's about actually getting good at the movement too. I guess this part of the run is kind of nice. Just some movement and not really anything dangerous. And then you get to this room and it's like red lizard territory. Drop a spot. Okay, good thing I hit that second sphere, else I was definitely dead. So I got really unlucky with the scavenger in this room. Though I haven't had to go outside of this room to get food until now. Still works out totally fine. Industrial might actually be like one of the harder parts of the run. Because it's you don't really have any tools. I mean, I guess you can hold on to items, which helps out a lot. But in Precipice, you can use, or Underhang and Precipice, you can make use of the grapple worm to like outmaneuver most lizards. Chimney, Canopy, and the wall, you can get a Vulture Mask, which makes that entire area pretty much free. But then in Industrial, you just have to deal with the lizards. There's not really any trick to it. I guess Sky Island's kind of the same way, but there's only a handful of creatures that you have to worry about. Even if those creatures could include a King Vulture that just swoops down and kills you out of nowhere. Drop down and get this Karma Flower. I guess I'll find out right now if I can do this. No. How about just standing next to it? Okay, that works. That's probably what I should do. I don't should do any complicated setup. It's nice that those spear throws are consistent. Like, I've pretty much done the same thing every time, and it's worked out every single time. And immediately went for the other dropper. Hello, welcome to the stream. I've already lost a few attempts. Industrial, funnily enough, because I haven't really struggled with Industrial in practice runs. But here we are. I also died in Chimney to an elite scavenger because they have like perfect reaction time. I guess I could have just killed the elite scavenger. I don't know why I was avoiding that. I guess I was thinking that if I killed scavengers now, I would have lower reputation later, which meant that it would be harder to deal with them. Like at the top of the wall or in some bits in Precipice. It's like, if possible, just like don't fight them, you know? But if I'm going to be fighting them later, then I guess there's not really much of a difference. Pink lizard down there. Something that really bothers me about oh, nice. Kind of bothers me about scavengers is how perfect their reaction time is sometimes. Like if you throw a spear at them, I mean, of course it depends on the scavenger, but sometimes they're like perfectly deflected with a spear every time. Nice hit. And like reacting to spear throws to deflect them is like actually ridiculously hard. Okay, I just missed that right in front of my face, but Sand Lizard saved me. Bob, is that the like scavenger with max out stats? Sand Lizard saved me. You did nothing. I'll still take this if I get released. Okay, I think he's going too far now. Yeah. Catch a spear out of midair. I think I want to do Artificer. I mean, maybe I'll do a stream of Artificer. But I feel like I've been thinking about just doing that. Okay, I messed this up. Just doing that off stream. Just like, gosh. So, sometimes I may want to do a few attempts on Artificer. Maybe one of those attempts. I'm not doing this right. Just maybe one of those random attempts. It will work out and I'll get a good run. Like that's kind of what the category boils down to. Just doing enough attempts to get that good run. Which I don't know if it's like the greatest thing to stream. It's Artificer specifically. So I'll probably move on to Saint. That was much better. Yeah, the whole like ending sequence is definitely what makes it's like half of what makes Artificer difficult. Metropolis is the other half. Or like a quarter, and then the other quarter is like getting past garbage wastes. Oh, okay. Well, if I knew how to do crawl turn vaults, I would to make it up that. But I've kind of been looking forward to speedrunning Saint again. Because they're actually a fun character to speedrun. Unlike Artificer and Spearmaster. And I guess I really haven't spent that much time on Spearmaster other than like practice attempts. So I don't really know, but so far it's been hard to get out of the very first area. Ignoring outskirts. Because half of it is just movement. But also, I feel like it's been so long since I've played Saints that I'm going to, like, have a whole bunch of strategies to try out. Like, there's definitely optimization for that run and the movement. Because, like, my strategy was always just, like, grapple across the ceiling if I could. I never really, like, looked for optimizations there. Except maybe in Sky Islands, because it's the very starting area. I kind of got familiar with it for every time I restart an attempt. This is actually really good. Never mind. Oh, that was a really fast jump for some reason. I saw that centipede and realized that I don't need to fight it. A lot of small centipedes here. One at the drop wig and those two. Thought Spearmaster would be easy because of the infinite spears, but it's really hard. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. So hello everyone who's joining the stream just now. Ideas for a gourmand bingo. You could do something with the singularity mob. Spearmaster's worst hunter. Yeah. I think that the back spear is actually a more useful ability. Because you can hold 2 items and then have another spear. And the Spearmaster's ability to hold 2 spears is like barely useful at all. I don't see the second dropper. They're actually... Never get that jump for some reason. Yeah, I'll try this. Nope. Whenever people talk about the abilities of the slow cats, they always point out that monk is the weakest. Like, wow, if they can't swim as well and they have a really weak spear throw. But I feel like monk is like, well, monk is easier, of course, but I don't really see why not dealing as much damage is that big of a downside. Because the creatures aren't even that like threatening to you. Meanwhile, the Spearmaster has these abilities, like being able to create spears, having like extra food capacity. But then you have to deal with like so many harder creatures that not even like, oh, I didn't know, I realized I fell down. I think I grabbed onto this pole, slid off of it. That worked out a lot better than it should have. Although if this lizard is chasing me, I don't have time to create spears. Oh, I guess that's kind of useful. Uh-oh. Red lizard in the way. This is not great. I really hit that spear, huh? I still died. I'm dead. Okay, injured. I love when injured creatures kill me instantly. Oh, also, a monk actually has an ability where they can't really die, like I just did. If the lizard grabs you, there's a 0% chance that it kills you instantly. So as long as you're holding something, you won't die from lizards like that. Of course, what always happens for me is that I miss the throw, so I don't even release myself. It really helps. I thought it was Gourmand exclusive. It's, yeah, they both have a similar ability. I just don't really see like monks like weak combat abilities to be that big of a deal because you just don't fight creatures. I think like Rivulet and Saint are better characters at like avoiding combat entirely, but like when there's so many fewer creatures and the creatures like aren't as interested in you, you can basically do whatever you want. You know, if you want to like travel like across several regions in one cycle, or if you want to like collect pearls or travel to moon or like stuff like that, it's like significantly easier, even though they're like weaker technically. And I feel like combat is actually like easier in some ways because you're less likely to fight multiple creatures at once. Whenever you do run into creatures, it's probably just like a handful. And like if there's multiple creatures in a room, maybe only one of them is even interested in fighting you. It's like you're pretty much only in like one-on-one situations, which are like significantly easier than what I've been dealing with as Spearmaster, where you run into like multiple lizards in only a few rooms. That's not very good. That's a centipede. I thought it was another dropper. But I do like centipede here. as long as it doesn't run away. Grab this other spear just in case this white lizard wants to be a problem. It is not. Okay. Most speedrunners use keyboard. Technically, there's an advantage. Fast pole climbing, I think, is one big one. I mean, I never really understand why people like controllers for platformers, but I can't say because I don't really use controllers as much, and you know, as long as you're like comfortable with it, use whatever you're comfortable with, you know. If you're fine with either controller or keyboard, then I would say use keyboard. But if you feel like you don't do as well on keyboard, then don't force yourself. Gormon can use slides to increase spear throw velocity. I mean, probably. That's how it works for... Actually, I don't even know if it throws the spear faster. I know that it throws it at an angle so that it bounces off the floor. It's like lower on the ground. So if you want to hit something that's further away on the floor, then it's easier to do it like that. But I don't know if it's any faster. Also, I've been surprised at how easy this room is to deal with. All these drop wigs. Usually this is kind of like a difficult room. Oh, okay. That could have been dangerous if you dropped down right then. But if they haven't set up, they won't even attack you. Something that I'm kind of bothered by in video games in general, I can't wall bounce, is the idea that like some games like require a controller, or like highly recommended. Like Dark Souls is apparently like only possible on controller. I mean, I haven't played Dark Souls, but I feel like I could, if I wanted to, I could just use keyboard and it wouldn't be that much worse. Getting tired cancels the slide. I mean, it won't be as good if you're tired. There's a king vulture. I would have gotten that popcorn plant, but I might be able to get the mask. Play the entire Soul series. Yeah, I feel like, you know, if you're used to it, then it's not going to be any worse for you. Okay, I really missed both of the spears when he was right there. Also, I don't usually expect a Sign Lizard to be right there, as well as another lizard, I think. This is the whole stream, by the way. We're never getting to Underhang. It doesn't exist. You like your probable percent runs? Except there's even worse creature spawns. It doesn't even like balance out. Like, I'm a little bit faster than Survivor, but it's not like Artificer or Rivulets where it's significantly easier. Yeah, the main downside with keyboard is that you can't specify a direction, but I don't even use controllers enough to be good at doing that. Whenever there's a game that lets you kind of make use of the extra directions, I can't do it accurately because I'm just not used to it. And usually just by like tapping or like alternating between tapping like different keys can like also kind of get you in the right direction, even on keyboard. If you want to move like diagonally, you can just hold forward and then to the side at a slight, or like hold or like tap it repeatedly. I'm not explaining this very well. Hold in one direction and then tap slightly to the side to move at a slightly different angle. gaming keyboard with a thumbstick on the side. You know this? Oh, I don't know why I tried to go down there. There's this like GameCube controller with a keyboard in the middle of it. I don't know if I'm making this up, but I think I remember some sort of controller like that where it has a keyboard as part of it. I mean, you're probably thinking of more like just a keyboard plus a thumbstick, but that was like a full controller with a keyboard attached to it somehow. The interesting position for that drop wig, so I guess I'm not getting that for food. Unless I threw it at a crazy angle. Fast roll, yeah, I'm using a mod right now that lets me do fast rolls, which are usually can only be done on controller. Ooh, I missed that. Okay, I guess I'll have to do it from high row. Hubert is like, I'm never playing that character. I already think that Rivulet is too fast. What are fast rolls? So basically, there's two different types of rolls. The normal roll is what you get on keyboard if you just hold down when you fall onto the ground. But a fast roll is simplified inputs, definitely not. Fast rolls, of course, they move faster, but also they don't make you fall through platforms. They let you pick up items instead of dropping them. Because usually when you're doing a roll, you're holding down, right? Which means that if you try to pick something up, you'll actually drop the item that you're holding. That's the input for dropping an item, to hold down and press grab. But doing a fast roll lets you pick up items. And the biggest difference is you can start a fast roll much easier. Usually when starting a roll, you have to like start it from like a high enough jump, you know? Several blocks off the ground. Jump, that lets you do a roll, but with a fast roll, you can do it from only like a single block high. Which means that you can start rolls much easier. On controller, there's like a specific angle that you have to hold down into the ground. And since you can't choose a specific angle on keyboard, there's a mod that finds like a button for it, and that's allowed for speedruns. Before this mod, people just used a program that basically simulated a controller with your keyboard to do the same thing. And you notice on the input display on the bottom left, there's the R key. That's my fast roll button. Almost missed the popcorn plant. In fact, Rivulet actually jumps so high that you can just do a fast roll from a normal jump. Just on flat ground, you can jump, and it'll let you do a fast roll. But that doesn't work with doing normal rolls. Because that's actually not that useful, because you don't usually want to... This is a wonderful spot for a dropper. Have you two fight each other, please. Somehow I stabbed that lizard when like halfway down a pipe. I think fast rolls make a big difference for like Survivor, Hunter, characters with that kind of movement. Please leave. If I did a better EI hop there, I would have gone past, but Red Lizard says no. I feel like I don't usually see that many lizards, though. Rainworld is made with Kaizo in mind. Actually, quite the opposite. Rainworld is made Wasn't even like made to be difficult in the first place. It just doesn't really follow most conventions in video games that are kind of put in place to make the game like easier and more approachable. Usually games give the player a big advantage to make it more fun. Like like one player alone could fight like swarms of enemies in most games. If it were actually balanced, then any single enemy would have a fair chance of beating you, which is how it is in Rain World. The developer just wanted to create this whole like ecosystem thing, and it just ended up being a difficult game. That's not even what they were considering though. And then of course the creators of Downpour wanted the slugouts to be difficult. That was part of their plan, as well as Hunter. Survivor wasn't supposed to be difficult, but Hunter definitely was. That was like the hard mode. And then most Downpour slugouts were based around Hunter spawns, unfortunately. I think if creature spawns in Spearmaster were reduced by like 25%, it would make it a lot better. Our movement is pretty much fast roll on east side. Pretty much. Actually, east side is very situational. There's not many areas where you have that much space. And also, it uses a lot of stamina. Because you have to throw an item, start a slide, and then do... Well, if you want to do an EI hop, you have to do a jump afterwards. So I guess the E slide is just a throw and a jump. Or starting a slide, which counts as a jump. For stamina purposes. But fast rolls are actually extremely useful as a Gourmand, since you can do them for much longer, and they're very stamina efficient. If anyone's interested in Speedrun and Gourmand, I definitely recommend using fast rolls. Never seen a Gourmand EI hop? They're great. You can usually cross like several screens at once with one EI hop. Of course, they're also very situational. You need enough space to do the slide to start it off, and then you actually need enough space to travel across, because usually you immediately hit a wall or something. $240p. Now it's actually pixel art. It's also actually a pretty good weapon. It's not just like falling on creatures that deals damage, it's just running into them with enough speed. Just doing an EI hop is a great way to just hit an enemy in front of you with a lot of damage. It doesn't really work against creatures on the ground, and I don't think an extended slide does the same thing exactly. That counts as doing a slide attack, which doesn't really scale with your speed. Did I forget to get a Karma Flower in previous attempts? Maybe. I really missed that. Cannibalism. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. That wasn't great, but still made it. Usually they aren't that active. I can't really say usually, can I? They can do whatever they want. Yeah, the strongest weapon as Gourmand is really to just use dev tools to repeatedly slam yourself into enemies with the teleport. Wow, it's so peaceful. For now. They're out of spear. I mean, do I? I just sneak past this lizard. Yeah, I'm surprised that lizard. Oh gosh, there's a Scion over there. No, I thought that they went into the pipe. Yep. Yeah, that can happen. Oh, I forgot to throw boosts. No, if Spearmaster can make spears like that easily, you'd think that they would be able to make armor or something. Or try tassing. I never really know what kind of tools that people actually use for that. I think about it sometimes. It's also just like extremely time consuming. I think I like the idea of a game that uses like passing as like one of the main gameplay mechanics. Kind of like turn-based combat. Oh, there's actually a game like this. But like turn-based combat where you decide like every action, like for like your inputs for every frame. Maybe not every frame, but like maybe like 20 times per second or like 10 times per second. Like super hot, I guess, sort of. But instead of like you doing the one, or maybe you would like, I guess that is just like super hot, huh? He's all the way up there. I've never seen that. But I think that super hot is like not as interesting as it could be, because you pretty much just like walk around and shoot stuff. And I know that there's like more mechanics than that, but like there's not really any interesting movement or like frame perfect stuff that you could do if you with like that level of precision. Did I accidentally stab a noodle fly? Maybe I'll get out of this room. Oh, well, you're stuck now. Ah, they pushed me out of the way. Any lore theories on why hunters can't get karma flowers? Because it makes the game harder. Unfortunately. I think it might have something to do with like Because of course, in Vanilla Rain World, the timeline was just Hunter, Survivor, Monk, right? And there were no Karma Flowers for Monk or for Hunter, but then Karma Flowers for the later Slug Cats. And when you die as Hunter, you can then go to where you died as Survivor and find a Karma Flower. So maybe Hunter has something to do with why Karma Flowers even exist in the first place, but of course you can get Karma Flowers as Spearmaster, so that theory is immediately incorrect because of Downpour. I didn't even give it that much food. Gonna follow me around. I found that Saint was actually not that bad. I mean, I did kind of cheat on my first playthrough. There was a bug when Downpour came out where some expedition perks would carry over into the real game. So I had been playing expedition mode with the high agility perk. That lets you that lets like all the Slug Cats move like rivulets. And so when I then played Saint, that perk carried over and Saint got the high agility. And just in the normal campaign. So I thought that Saint was a lot more mobile than they actually are. But even after I moved, or I fixed that bug, it wasn't really that bad either. High agility really affects Saint. I mean, the biggest difference is that you just move faster. Faster move speed. Just in general, make things easier. Also, not really drowning ever. That's also a part of the perk. That was actually pretty good. Didn't know that lanterns warmed you. That definitely helped out a lot. You just need to put a lantern in your stomach and you're pretty much never have to worry about the cold. That's 3 blue lizards. It's pretty high lizard density right here. You just think it can't get worse, then it gets worse. Oh. Yeah, come down here. A bit of a pickle right now. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I suppose that if I weren't speedrunning, it wouldn't be that bad. It would still be awful. All those slime lizards would be chasing after me. I mean, I usually say that speedrunning this game isn't actually that great. Because this game usually rewards patience. Which is something that you can't really afford to do in speedrunning. You're always rushing forward, which can lead you into some pretty bad situations. But I think that anyone playing this game, speedrunner or just casually, would not enjoy that scenario. It's just way too many lizards. I mean, I guess they were thinking, you know, for the Slug Cats with like stronger combat abilities, you need to put stronger creatures in to balance it out. But Spearmaster doesn't even have that great of abilities. Like, they're basically just like a slightly weaker hunter. Did that all in one cycle? Yeah, from outskirts. I mean, I only got to industrial, so it's not that. I mean, I'm planning on getting all the way to the wall in a single cycle. It should not be as bad in Chimney Canopy, because I want to get a Vulture Mask. And unfortunately, getting a Vulture Mask at the start of Industrial isn't very consistent. It's a stream buffering. Yes. The Saint campaign has, or Saint has better movement abilities to just avoid combat entirely. If the stream is lagging, then I wouldn't be able to submit the VOD for, like, as an official speedrun. Yeah, OBS is not happy right now. Game's good. I'm gonna like keep playing and it's going to get mad at me again. I didn't have problems with this. What about Twitch? I think it's just a problem with OBS. It just, I mean, it's telling me about 1,000 dropped frames. That should apply to both. Sometimes YouTube is the problem, but I think it's my computer. When I first started streaming, I had a lot of problems like this, and I kind of lowered the like stream quality to fix it, and it mostly fixed it. But this kind of thing still happens sometimes. And here it goes again. Yeah, it just kind of keeps wavering. Can you destroy the sun in Rain World? No. Yeah, this is just a problem on my end, unfortunately. I don't know. I could try to like restart everything. It's been fine for a while. The moment there's a problem like this, it means that it might happen again. Basically whenever. Guess I'll keep going. Let me know if it continues to break. Just trying not to fall off this platform. I'll be checking it. I'm sure that a few like drop frames here and there won't be that big of a problem, but I mean the main concern is it's kind of like splicing. I mean, not that I would do that. A nice spin that I just did there. Oh, okay. But if like the video that you submit to speedrun.com for like an official speedrun attempt has like a cut in the middle of it, Like that could be a splice. I don't even know how you would do that. I guess you would like stop the stream for a bit and then like put up a video of like a successful attempt. But like I mean then you would still have to do that successful attempt. I don't know. We're going to continue though. I like wonder if you should pipe boost there, because you kind of go past that pole that you use. Centipede up there. I somehow threw backwards. Just going to continue this way. Only get one food out of that centipede. No, come on. Yeah, that wasn't very fast, but it works. I can't really think of what I did in practice attempts that made industrial so much easier. I mean, I guess I didn't really do that many attempts with creatures, but I never really remembered industrial being a problem. I just kind of ran past everything. But this time there's so many creatures that you have to deal with. Stream seems to be fine. If anyone's still having problem, then just refresh the tab. Just refresh the stream and maybe it'll fix if anyone's still having problems. I guess I could pause right. And then have the speedrun, like, of course we're looking at in-game time. So even if I pause, the timer doesn't move forward. So if the stream breaks, I think it broke again at some point. But then I would still lose a bit of time up to that. Yeah, I am reading chat. Oh, that triggered the other dropper. Did it break? It looks like it did. Four frames from shelter to killing dropper. All right, I'm going to just reset the stream. So the stream will just be offline for a bit. And hopefully I can get it back. But I think just resetting OBS will help at least a bit. So yeah, see you all in a bit when I get this working again, hopefully. All right. Welcome back. Hopefully. I'm going to restart this run, because I don't like lag in the VOD. Hopefully it isn't going to continue to break. I don't know why that happens. I guess I could have lowered the bitrate or something. That might have helped. Yeah, you really have to be on the edge of the platform. I'm not happy with that. I'm just gonna restart. That's would be a lot. Hold up for a bit. Well, I bet if you could do spears mid running. Yeah. Maybe at like half speed, at least. I don't know, I think there's a lot of things that can make Spearmaster actually powerful, and like Artificer exists. Hello, Overseer. Just the fact that that Artificer exists, and like Rivia and Saint, like they have such crazy abilities. I don't really see any reason why Spearmaster should be significantly weaker, especially since they're supposed to be like genetically engineered to be like physically strong. Isn't that kind of the point, right? Like Seven Red Suns even talks about this specifically, like, oh, this is quite a dangerous journey all the way from here to Pebbles. But it's fine because I genetically engineered them to be able to handle it. And then Spearmaster, of course, is like one of the weaker downpour slug cuts. Just trying to find Gourmand better. I mean, I think that Gourmand is also kind of weak, although they have like so many other unique abilities. Like they can craft things, they can produce random items from their stomach. That's wonderful. Their spear throw is incredibly strong. They can slide into creatures to deal damage. They can land on creatures from a great height to deal damage. They have a really long extended slide. There's so many other things that are like pretty good about Gourmand that it makes like, what does Spearmaster have? Like they can't eat food, so that's a downside. They can't hold an item in their stomach. That's a downside. Like the only benefits is that you can create spears whenever, and you can hold 2 spears at once, which is like okay, and you have like hunter movement. Like I guess Gourmand also has stamina to worry about, which is a big problem in combat. Like the spear throw is strong, but then you're immediately exhausted. Like the Sea Moon, that's their advantage, I guess. Saint doesn't throw spears though. Saint doesn't need to throw spears. The creature spawns aren't nearly as bad. I mean, there's some bad creatures, right? But in a lot of regions, it's just like a bunch of flying centipedes, which are not even aggressive. There's orange lizards, which are super easy to outmaneuver, because orange lizards are actually some of the least maneuverable lizards, they are not very good at grabbing you. Like you could just like jump over a orange lizard very easily, while say for a pink lizard, if you try to jump over one, they'll grab you out of the air very easily. I should have created a spear. And there's like scavengers who are neutral to the saint. Whoops. Okay. A few mistakes here and there. I missed that. I'll be back in 20 minutes. You're going to see me still in outskirts. Did those droplegs just fuse? Hello? Did I see that correctly? Or did the one dropleg just like choose the same spot as another dropleg? No, they actually just fused. Hello? Do you think that they would at least like collide with each other? Yeah, this whole thing, it's kind of one thing that I don't really like about Downpour. Like for all the like advantages that the Downpour Slickheads have, they always have some sort of awful downside. I think that Rivulets is one of the few characters where, and Saint, I guess, if you count that the not ability to, the fact that they can't throw spears. But like Rivulets has the short cycles, which I think actually like works, because it kind of encourages you to speedrun and to actually take advantage of your movement. A lot of the other characters, I feel like they just have something that's just kind of annoying to deal with. Yeah, that moves me. Okay, yeah, let me just stand there. That's the downside of the rot. Yeah, that's true. It's like their main downside is the shorter cycles, which I actually enjoy. But then the rot, like, I think isn't a very well designed area. It's a cool place to explore, but you're playing as Rivulet, and Rivulet likes to move very quickly, and you can't move very quickly in the rot. Are you not being annoying if your big nemesis species was literally anything else? Yeah, scavengers are literally designed to be awful to fight against. They're supposed to teach you the reputation system, that like some creatures can be befriended if you like give them items, and if you like help them out in like combat. Scavengers can be your friends, and they're like can be actually helpful at times. But then if you fight the scavengers, then you have to pay by fighting them. So they're basically like saying, hey, you probably shouldn't become enemies with the scavengers. Just like be friends with them instead. And then of course Artificer just ignores that completely and just says, yeah, you have to fight them. I know that they can like kill you from off screen. It's a one shot too. They can also throw spears at different angles than the player can, especially elites. No idea why people dislike the rot that much. I think it's a cool area. I think it's a little bit too big, maybe. I've seen a lot of people get totally lost trying to find the rare faction cell. Like, it's cool to explore like the kind of ruins of Pebble's interior, but then when you need to find like a single room in the entire region. Maybe if the overseer was just a bit better at actually pointing you in the right direction. Spent like 4 hours finding the room. Oh, that's just wonderful. If I can do this wall jump correctly. Nope. I just, I thought there's a pole there that I tried to grab onto, but there isn't. Like, I think that the Rot would be a cool area to explore as maybe any other character. But I feel like the Rivulet deserved a better area. If you're going to give a Slugcat crazy movement abilities, you should give them an area that lets them fully make use of those abilities. Not an area where the walls are dangerous and where the gravity keeps changing. I think Submerged Superstructure is better at that, as it lets you make use of the underwater movement, which I think isn't great. Like, Riveted's whole appeal is that they are like the aquatic Slugcat, but their underwater movement is like kind of weird. Like when you swim boost, you kind of like snap to a single direction based on the direction that your head is pointing. Which means that if you use too many swim boosts, you can kind of get like sent backwards from the direction that you're trying to swim in. Actually did that slide pounce for once. Yeah, for the most part, submerged superstructure is fine. I think it's cool that there's finally an area that has like huge underwater rooms that you can actually like explore, and the water is pretty clear too, so you can actually see what you're doing. And like Leviathans actually have like room to move around, and you have the ability to dodge them instead of like just like running away on the surface of the water. In Shoreline, for example, if there's a Leviathan in the way, you just can't cross. But in Submerged Superstructure, there's a Leviathan in the way, sort of, because you can like you have so much space to move around. Nice. You know, it'd be cool if I ever actually made it to Moon. This is the speedrun where you go to Moon, in fact. Spearmaster's Moon is a bit boring. Yeah. I think the best part of Spearmaster's Moon is how at the end of the cycle, the gravity stops changing. And it just gets stuck at normal gravity. Because you think that like something is broken. Like why isn't the gravity switching back on? Then you realize, oh yeah, the moon structure is just like breaking. Like it just doesn't work right now. And then you have to figure out how to navigate the rooms without the low gravity, which Spearmaster can actually do because they can climb walls with their spears. I think it's just fun to explore a superstructure without the low gravity because it can be annoying. Will I actually make it past industrial? That's the big question. I don't know what happened there. Maybe that's why I haven't been getting past industrial, because I haven't been doing wall pounces. A lot of non-gameplay stuff is done really well in Downpour. I think the story is cool with the iterators, and then like the world building, being able to see how the whole world changes throughout time. It's probably like the best part of Downpour. The way you get to explore regions in the past and the future. That's Speedmaster, Survivor, and Saint. To kind of do different slices of the world. I don't like that guy. Guess he forgot about me. Honestly, the more creatures that I see early on, the better the later runes will be. Nice EI hop. That lizard has a crazy reaction time. The moment I entered the room, they were already jumping towards me. Where are all the lizards? I'm expecting like 20 lizards in this room. Oh, there they all are. That sign just pushed that blue lizard all the way out of the way. I might die in this tunnel. Or not. Alright, this is the kind of industrial I was expecting. Okay, I guess I couldn't do that forever. I'm dead. I mean, okay, I like Downpour. I mean, I've been streaming it pretty much exclusively for the past few months. I kind of have to like it. I just think it could have been better. And maybe there's still changes that can be made to improve the game in updates. I don't know how open they are to making changes to the game. Other than like bug fixes. Which aren't even all that common. It's the music in Saints outro. What do you mean by that? Guess I should use these rocks for throw boosting since I just throw them away later anyway. It's at 10 seconds before it should. I mean, sounds like something that'd be pretty easy to fix. But I didn't even know about that. And I've seen the Saints ending quite a few times. That was a risk. This is dangerous. Yeah, we're just gonna go the other way. Unless they want to follow me. See how quickly the red lizard followed me all the way down this room? They were determined. I do need one more food pip. Oh, do you look at that? Usually they don't come into this room. They gave down for a negative Steam review. Some people I've seen in like some tier lists or some like discussions about the slug cats, and they put Survivor in like middle or low tier. I think like, you know, Survivor isn't as strong as the Downpour slug cats, and then, you know, they're just not as interesting. But I still think that Survivor is like one of the better campaigns, mostly just because it represents the experience of like figuring or exploring Rain World for the first time. That's what Survivor is. I think that Saint is also very interesting, and it's kind of a similar feel. Saint is definitely the closest, I think, to like an actual Rain World sequel. That was a very delayed jump. I don't even think that, like, I mean, okay, I really like platforming in this game, obviously, but I don't think it's a good platformer. Comparing this game with, say, Celeste, because I'm actually familiar with that game, I think that the movement system is, like, on a similar level, which is something to say, certainly. I think I enjoy Rain World's movement more than Celeste's. The thing is that this game doesn't really give you the opportunity to actually use the movement. It's not just a platformer, you know. There's so many other things going on. And for most like casual players, they aren't going to care about the platforming. Whereas Celeste, for example, like tends to convert its players into speedrunners just because of how good the movement is. Like that game wants you to speedrun it. While this game is actively like, oh gosh, that was close. Speedrunning is challenging. Oh. That's a long jump. Like, I enjoyed the movement in this game, but I also feel like maybe it could have been done differently to actually improve the core experience. Because a lot of players have difficulty with the platforming. Don't kill me instantly. Is this it? So like 10,000 mods. I mean, I think that kind of thing goes against like the core of Rain World. I mean, if you want to use mods, go ahead. I didn't want to stay in a shelter, but I wanted to get the Vulture Mask. The Vulture says that naturally I won't have to. I think I will. King Vulture. There's 2 of them. 2 King Vultures. I almost died. Oh, great. Did they just take the Vulture room? No, they definitely did not. Fighting over it. Goodness. Did they just drop their mask? No. Mask acquired? This is actually... I don't know why it's lagging. This is actually at the start of a run. More than an hour into the stream. I mean, I literally got here at the start of the stream. And I died to an elite scavenger. There's something up there. Drop wagon. I'm just not gonna go that way. The dropper is already gone. Is this really that difficult? Just use a spear. The scavengers are back. They also have a very low reputation. I didn't need to do that. I could have grabbed their spear. Is there a scavenger in this stream who will instantly kill me the moment they... No, I just did the same to them. He's not dead though. Just kidding. Yeah, I think that difficulty is kind of a problem with Downpour. Because the difficulty of this game is kind of learning the ecosystem. Learning that you don't exactly have good chances in combat. Sometimes it's worth it to try to just run away or hide from something dangerous. Unlike a lot of games where you have a chance against fighting like pretty much anything. But then, you know, once you run into like 3 vultures in a single room, 2 of them have harpoons. Like, it stops feeling like a realistic ecosystem and it starts feeling like a video game that's trying to be difficult. Like, I think that even like some parts of Survivor's campaign are a little overtuned when it comes to the creature spawns. Like the entrance of Don't do it. the entrance of a chimney canopy. We're never finishing this run. The entrance of chimney canopy has like a lot of lizards. It's not really as bad as like hunter spawns, but it can be rough. I think the game was just going easy on me while I was doing practice runs. Of course, I did a lot of those with creatures turned off, but I did a few with creatures and it wasn't that bad. The game was like, yeah, it's not that bad of a category. Maybe you should just like try it out anyway. Yeah, I guess in Chimney you have a lot more space. But I guess for like a realistic ecosystem, you kind of expect there to be not that many predators. I mean, it's better as Survivor and it's better if you're not speedrunning. Which is exactly the opposite of what I'm doing right now. I don't think that this game really has to be difficult. Kind of what the original developer said, like, this isn't supposed to be a difficult game, it's just like a different kind of game that a lot of people probably aren't used to, which is it's what makes it difficult. And then you know, learning the game's world and the rules and how to deal with the creatures, that's the difficulty of it. And I don't think the game is ever really boring, even if it is easy, because there's the whole like movement system to work with. There's all the music and the environments and like the story and stuff. Everything else is like incredibly high quality. Just like, I don't think it really requires difficulty to be interesting. Am I dead? Not yet. Definitely don't think that it should be easy. I think Survivor is like a pretty good balance of like the creatures are challenging, but you can learn how to deal with them. Almost everything is a predator, yeah. I think that downpour would have been improved by being based more around, well, by being based. Being based around Survivor instead of Hunter. Because Gourmand has a mix between Survivor and Hunter spawns. Artificer and Spearmaster just have straight up Hunter spawns, and possibly even worse. And then, Rivulet and Saint have completely different creature spawns, but there's still like a higher quantity of them overall. Dropping frames again. Yes. Is it back? Looks like it's not dropping frames anymore. I think this is still fine for the run since I have just been karma catching. So it shouldn't have cut out any like actual gameplay. Like any moment it's gonna drop more frames.